It was announced that there is a new deal between Universal Music Group and a company called Even Biz. Now, it's definitely something that I've heard about before, but in the name of the music business restructuring everything because of streaming and lack of resources, funding, and firing all their staff, they're finding other ways to monetize their artists, brand, music, and everything. So, before we get into the meat of this deal, let me tell you a little bit about what Even is. So, Even is the infrastructure platform powering direct to fan music sales before streaming release. So, what does direct to fan music sales mean? When you can go and buy something from an artist before it hits streaming and no middleman. Launched in April of 2024, Even has onboarded over 500,000 artists through direct signups and distribution partnerships across 3,000 labels and distributors in 110 countries. The platform supports 30 plus global payment methods across 140 countries and reports album sales to Luminate for Billboard chart eligibility. Interesting. So, from developing artists earning their first meaningful revenue to established acts generating 2 to 3 times their streaming income per release, Even serves the complete spectrum of musical talent. So, once again, this is where a lot of artists are headed, especially independently, because streaming pays pennies, right? As we all know. You don't understand what this means. So basically, like I was saying, it's a direct to fan platform where you can sell your music and probably other products. Another platform like this exists. It's called Bandcamp, where you can literally sell anything on there for whatever price. You set the price, right? That's basically what it is. What we're going to see as we get into the deal and some of the controversy going around on Twitter right now is that, does anybody follow J. Cole? Do let me know, because J. Cole has used it and we'll talk about him a little bit more. So like we were talking about, it's a direct to fan platform, right? So allowing artists to go direct to their fans to sell and make money instead of going through major distributors or anybody who's going to take a cut. Basically, that's what Even does. And so the issue with it, however, now, or the issue that our people are finding is that there's a lot of these sort of companies that exist and that keep popping up, which is great, right? Because it's allowing artists to keep their ownership and make more money off of their music. However, the news coming out today that Universal Music Group has entered into a multi-year partnership with Even, it raises eyebrows and speculation and just a little bit of worrisome that every time a company comes in the name of independence and serving independent artists and trying to do all these good things to get them to make more money or keep more of their money, every time a company like this becomes successful, all of a sudden the major labels start buying it up. Right? And that's exactly what the artists are trying to avoid. Everybody says, don't be signing deals, keep your ownership, keep your masters, right? And so that's what these platforms are supposed to be helping for. However, now UMG entering the game is kind of like, bruh, can we have anything for ourselves? Like, goddamn. So let's get into the direct press release that was released on February 18th, 2026. Even the direct-to-fan platform providing infrastructure for the growing superfan economy across the global music industry has announced a new agreement with Universal Music Group, the world leader in music-based entertainment. This multi-year agreement establishes Even as a direct-to-fan resource for UMG, providing UMG's labels and artists with a turnkey solution for engaging their most dedicated fans through early access to music, exclusive content, community features, and artist-led experiences ahead of streaming release, integrated into UMG's overarching D2C, which is direct to consumer strategy, and implementing its fan engagement portfolio. Okay, so whoa, that may seem a little bit overwhelming. So let's break that down a little bit. So remember everything I said about selling direct to consumer, establishing your own price, right? Selling anything on your website for however much you want it to be, whether that's merch, music, bitch. And so you remember how like Nikki used to tell us these labels, they use the barbs for the blueprint. They want my fan base. They want my fan base. They want my fan base. And what the industry has recognized these days and like in all sort of like platforms is that you have to understand how to monetize your biggest fans, right? The biggest fans who are going to buy anything and everything from you. How can we monetize that to the highest degree? And this is why in the independent world for artists, they tell you, don't worry about being the biggest artist in the world. all you need to worry about is getting 1,000 fans. With 1,000 fans, you can do so many things. And they have a whole model. And if you follow Russ or have heard of Russ, 1,000 fans can earn you $100,000 per year, which is obviously a very livable wage, off of your passion, off of music and stuff like that. So basically, they are trying to sort of take that model and monetize the highest tier of fans for their benefit. Now, once again, this is what some independent artists have been doing, but what UMG and the major labels are trying to do is basically take the strategy for their artists. So once again, as I said, we're going to talk a little bit about J. Cole because the press release mentions him. Stop me at any time if anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns. Even powers direct-to-fan engagement, offering both Even Marketplace, its consumer-facing discovery platform, and Even Studio, a white label solution that can help transform an artist's website into a dedicated superfan destination. Designed to also live natively within social platforms, Even helps artists and labels convert fans on social into superfan communities by blending commerce, content, and community in a single, secure environment. So I'm going to pause again because let's think about it. We all have followers on Instagram. You all follow people on Instagram. But maybe just because you follow someone on Instagram doesn't actually mean that you really care about them, what they do, right? And so you can have a lot of followers on Instagram, but you ain't making no money, right? Now, Twitter is a different ball game. Like we all kind of know, like Twitter is the next level where that's where you find super fans of whatever. Right. So even though Nicki should not be interacting with her fans as much, she's never going to eliminate Twitter because she knows that the people on Twitter are going to buy. They're going to be the first. They are the ones who are going to get her up the charts. No questions asked. Right. And so what the press release is saying is that they're creating a space for those people. So remember how in 2020, with the rollout of her album and tour, Nicki created her own app, right? The Barb's app, which ain't doing shit right now. But on that app, we always been saying, oh, Nicki, you should have your own app, your own app, your own app. So she makes her own app, and it's kind of like Twitter and Facebook where you can post on there, but there was nowhere to actually buy something. And so that is what they are trying to do here. They're trying to create a space where it can turn super fans into super fan communities. So kind of like what the Barbs already had on Stationhead and Twitter and potentially like Nicki's app, they're trying to put all of that into one. So Even introduces a new digital album sale, giving fans early access to music while counting towards Billboard charts, with digital sales reporting certified by Luminate. So that's important because now you can sell your album directly before it actually releases, and those sales could count towards the charts. In addition to digital experiences, UMG artists will be able to offer physical music and merchandise through Even using UMG's global direct-to-consumer vinyl and merch infrastructure. So you'll be able to purchase merch and physical music off of the Even website or structure, however that's going to look. Quote, superfans are the foundation of sustainable artist careers. Even exists to support artists and labels at every stage by giving them the infrastructure to own their fan relationships. And this is what the founder of Even said. This collaboration reflects what we've always believed, that direct-to-fan engagement is now an essential layer of the music ecosystem working alongside streaming. So everyone in the music and the tech and the business world is noticing that, like streaming not paying shit. Like, literally, we're not getting any money. We need to milk these fans for every fucking penny that we can. And that's why platforms like this are coming up. So Jonathan, Executive Vice President of Digital Business and Development Strategy at UMG, said, as we continue to build strong, diverse superfan capabilities, Even provides a unified, scalable solution for artists and labels to produce creatively and commercially meaningful moments around release campaigns. The platform fosters safe, engaged, and loyal fan communities, all while fitting seamlessly within the broader social and entertainment ecosystem. So now let's actually put this into practice and understand like how this worked, because J. Cole, he recently released the album and he also used the platform Even for his release campaign. So it says J. Cole's team and Interscope Records have used Even as the infrastructure behind multiple direct-to-fan campaigns, including the 10th anniversary of 2014 Forest Hills Drive and the pre-release strategy for The Fall Off. off. Both projects leverage Even's white label solution to power exclusive music and content, paid and free community experiences, and direct to fan commerce within a dedicated fan destination. Every time I talk, you know it's facts. Now, I wish I could tell you and illustrate to you like how this website actually looks or how it actually looks, but I don't know because there's no artist that I follow that has used this before, and I don't follow J. Cole to know what the fuck he actually did. So it says the 2014 Forest Hills Drive campaign helped return the album to the Billboard Top 15 a decade after its original release, demonstrating how sustained fan engagement can extend the life cycle of a project. Building on that foundation, the rollout of The Fall Off, which is what he just released, used similar tools to deepen fan relationships and drive early participation ahead of the album's official release, reinforcing the value of owning the fan connection alongside streaming. The Fall Off debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. Pilot campaigns with UMG artists, including Wale, Def Jam Records, and Virgin Music Group distributed Mount Joy. Future's Bloomfield Records, I don't know if they mean Future the rapper, so they have demonstrated how superfan focused experiences can work alongside streaming to create momentum, conversation, and lasting engagement around releases. Wale's recent project reached the top 20 of the Billboard charts with direct-to-fan album sales through Even, playing a meaningful role in its performance while also driving significant growth in his owned fan audience around release. Wale's own fan audience grew by over 300% in a single week around release. So that's what we're going to read for now from the press release or whatever. This is directly on Even's website, as we always do, going to the direct source. Now, as I said, this is causing a lot of conversation within the music business community because, like I said, every time there's something for independent artists to make more money, here comes the major labels trying to buy that shit up for their artists. And this is also even happening for another company. I believe it's called DistroKid. And DistroKid is in talks right now to sell the company, and they're looking at about $2 billion, right? Let's actually look it up. Yep, here it is. DistroKid rep by Goldman Sachs exploring a sale. According to multiple strong sources, distribution platform DistroKid is holding talks with potential buyers over a big money sale. Music business worldwide hears that DistroKid is being repped by both Rain and Goldman Sachs in these discussions. The number being bandied around Los Angeles is $2 billion, although some sources suggest that the price could escalate even higher. So DistroKid was founded in 2013 by Philip Kaplan and was valued at $1.3 billion in August 2021. Now, not going to do too much on that because that is a different topic, but it represents what I'm talking about in that all of these companies that serve independent artists primarily are now being bought up. And in a way, you can't really blame nobody, because people start their companies for the love of the game, for the love of, oh my God, I want independent artists to win and be able to make money without being signed. But like anybody, let's say you do that. And you're like, yeah, like, man, I built this company and now I could get 2 billion. Like, I could get 2 billion or I could keep slaving away by myself. I mean, which one you going to choose? You know, there's that from the like seller slash CEO perspective. But then from like the major label and maybe venture capitalist perspective and the investors, they're like, music ain't making no money no more. These artists ain't making no money. So we want to buy up as much catalog as possible, bitch. I don't care if they signed or unsigned, bitch, known or unknown, bitch. We need everybody money. We need a cut of everybody money, bitch. 15% of everybody. Okay, we getting everybody's money. So that's sort of the issue here. Now, I'm going to take you to Twitter and show you guys some stuff that has been circulating. And you know that every time something like this happens, where, independence and whatever a company does something, you usually always have Russ coming out and making a statement and saying something. But Russ has been super quiet since this announcement of even partnering with UMG. Russ should know something about Even, or maybe he should have used the platform because he is an independent artist who champions independence and making money directly with his fans, and he's anti-label. So anyway, Russ been quiet, but it's really interesting, and this is another topic for another day, but this is real hardcore business news and conversations right now, which is what I've been trying to, evolve into. But it's so interesting how business the music business stuff, I feel like, and you guys let me know actually, from your perspective, I feel like the music business and the stan community is now intersecting with each other because of the state of the industry today, because of the industry wars that are happening and what artists fall on each side, and fans wanting their artists to, either win or just get the best deal or representation or whatever it is, right? And so now you got this announcement on a lot of Twitter blogs, right? A lot of Twitter blogs. And that's why I'm glad for anybody who is commenting in the chat, like, I don't understand this. Can you please explain it a little bit more? Because I feel like the communities are intersecting right now. And although there's positives and negatives to it, and maybe, like I said, let's talk about that another day. But anyway, so I'm just wondering, did you guys see this on your timeline? And, what did you think about it? Did you understand like what this means? So anyway, this Twitter blog, this is one of the Twitter blogs that posted it. It says basically good or bad move. Now they have alleged that J. Cole and La Russell are alleged equity shareholders in the company. Now I did not say Russ, I said La Russell. Now we haven't spoken about this, but La Russell has recently signed to Rock Nation. I see a lot of chatter, but I'm confused. Okay, got it. All in all of this is just very interesting how the industry is developing in real time to deal with not the best revenue from streaming, but also, and most importantly, monetizing fan communities and the super fan community. Let me know if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, but I just wanted to bring that conversation here and get into more business stuff for once. So thank you so much for listening to that. I really do appreciate it and all of the questions. Just expect more of this. I don't see how the music industry survives another 10 years. They're going to figure it out, and that's why like it's important they're doing deals with these AI companies. I'm not really paying attention to those that much. There's always going to be super fans, and this applies to anything, not just music, but it's like it don't matter how broke people are or how bad the economy is. People are going to spend money on, they're going to find it some way, somehow. And basically, the industry is transforming to make you have to make that decision, putting you in a corner and being like, okay, so you want this? You want it early? You're going to have to drop a bag, okay?
It's your girl, Vina Love, the Harlem Princess, your favorite princess, and this is Destiny Villa.
Period.